Okay, people. Okay, so what I'm doing here is, remember when I took Andre out and we got that that big tree branch where the city thought that maybe Andre and I chopped down a tree? Right? And we salvaged the leaves to make ink powder with for art, Andre's walnut art, right? I've been doing this. I never did the leaves until the trees got cut down. After the trees got cut down, then I started gathering up walnut leaves wherever I could find them. Alright? Mainly English walnut leaves. Any black walnut leaves that I come across are only in my yard, people. But what I'm doing here right now, can you see that? This is the stems from those leaves. Do you see? They're all nice and dry right now. And I'm just now breaking them up. And I'm running them through the blender to make a powder. For the most part. Can you see that? Now there's two things you can do with this. You can, one, preferably you kind of want the black walnut tree. But anyway, I do have black walnut bark, people. When they cut down that tree, I brought home a lot of bark. Okay, so within the bark are medical properties. For wounds, that type of thing, right? You know, you put it, you soak it. I'll show you. This one was actually in my fridge for the longest time. So you take your bark and you put it in water and you soak it. And then if you want a cut to heal faster, because trust me, people, I've worked with black walnut, okay? You've seen my hands literally black. And I've worked so much with it that it's taken the surface layer of my skin off my hands and my, like, everything, right? The more, because I did lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of black walnuts, right? And English. And what happens is it takes off the surface, the first layer of your skin, and then what comes up underneath is fine. It's like baby skin, people. It's so soft, right? It can burn you too, though. I have a video where I was, doing, and I was wearing gloves. And it was burning up in between my fingers here. And I thought, oh, I'm almost done. Just, don't change your gloves. Just keep on doing. You've gotten this far. By the time I was done, boy, oh boy, I burned myself so bad. I kind of scared myself. I went to the hospital, And, the only thing, they couldn't do anything about it. But what I did was I just put aloe vera from a plant on it. And within days, it healed. Like it wasn't as bad as it looked, kind of thing. Because the actual walnut tree itself has medical properties. Right? So, I don't know how much the difference is between an English walnut and a black walnut. Although I do think that the black walnut is stronger. I'm coughing because I'm dealing with the dust. As I'm grinding this and pouring it in, it's like around me, right? Same thing when I'm in front of the stove. You know how the elements, give off smells and heat and everything as you're cooking, right? I'm kind of allergic to certain things from working in the yard for so many years. Perfume is a bad one. Anything aerosol. I walk into a building where there's, people with their whatever they've got going, they use these little, plug-in things or these little poof things that smell nice stuff in the air, and I'm like gagging away. Anyway, that's what's happening here right now, right? So what I'm doing is I'm grinding up these stems, because the thing about the walnut trees is you can use every part for whatever reason, right? So in this case, what's going to be happening sooner or later, people, because the stock is there now, got lots and lots of stock. I'm just finishing up at the tail end of what Andre and I gathered up this year. And then, you know, make his little website. And for something like this, you know, there's two ways to use it. You can take a little bit, put it in a little pot, heat it up, bring it to a boil, turn it down, let it seep, and then strain it. And what you're going to do is you're going to get an ink, right? The only thing is you have to add a little bit of rubbing alcohol into it, or some vodka or something with some alcohol in it, in order to prevent natural molds that grow with this particular tree. And you can use it either for ink, or if you have a cut or something, you can just like wipe it, and you'll find that the healing process more than likely will occur faster, right? That kind of stuff. They use the black walnut husk for dewormers, right? In humans. Okay. The ink powder that I have, the majority of it is just for ink. It's not for consumption, right? Because, you know, the one for consumption, you want to make sure that it's cleaned properly and, you know, dehydrated properly, right, with no impurities in it. I have a couple of jars like that kicking around, but for the most part, it's just for ink powder. That's all it's, like, you know, to make ink. That's the only thing it's meant for. This stuff, you can use it for ink powder, or you can use it as an antiseptic on the outside of the body, right? So I'm just letting you know that. So if and when I ever get Andre's Walnut Art website up, you know, this is where this stuff comes from. I just wanted to show you that. Okay, so I'm going to keep this video short, right? Because, you know, I get these comments that I'm inspirational, I guess you could say, for people that enjoy watching my videos, because they kind of find them informative. And I do, people. For the most part, I try and make them informative. You know, whether it's on a really simple level, or whether we're getting into that, you know, that more complicated stuff with legislation and that type of thing, right? I mean, there's so many variables in there, right? So this is the more simple stuff, right? And if you've got, like, kids, grandkids, nieces and nephews, anybody can do this for kids. But let me warn you, you'll be the one that will be doing the majority of the work, because the point of this exercise, people, more than anything, is one, spend quality time with the children in terms of collecting your products. It doesn't matter what you're collecting. It doesn't have to be a black walnut tree with its leaves and nuts and bark and wood and roots, right? Because in the black walnut, you can use every part of the tree, people. Every part, okay? Keep that in mind. And this is what the province of British Columbia, Canada, is wiping out. A natural resource that not only has medicinal properties, right? It has, like the walnut, the black walnut ink can last over 1,000 years, people, on paper, right? Think about it. And they're just chopping them down. Like, I don't know if we even have any more out here, people. That's how bad it is when it comes down to cutting down these trees. So in the meantime, this bark here actually comes, it's unprocessed. Only thing I've done is cleaned it and dried it. And whether, you know, I put it online for sale for Andre's Walnut Art as a selection, in terms of you'll have different things to select from what you want to buy. And it goes in like this to you in the mail. And then you take this piece of bark And you can do whatever you want with it, people. You can use it for medicinal purposes, or you can make your own art with it. Maybe somebody sees something in there that wants to carve in, you know, or whatever, right? I'm just using that as an example. And then, of course, you know, these are the stems from the English walnut, which is a cousin to the black walnut. And after I'm all said and done, over the next couple of weeks, okay, what I'm going to do, my nose is running because of this powder stuff floating around. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make myself a, I don't know, a tonic or whatever you call it. And I'm going to take a cotton swab because I'm starting to look old, right? I'm getting wrinkles. Have you noticed that? Some days more noticeable than other days. I'm getting those, what do you call it, crow feet? And it's not from laughing, people. But that's okay. I'm all right with aging. I don't have a problem with aging, right? But I think, you know, just to show, I don't know, I don't want to call it leadership, but, you know, I'm not going to ask you to do something if I'm not willing to do it. That's like asking Amari to eat something I'm not willing to eat, right? And so basically what I'm trying to say is at some point I'm going to make myself a little tonic like this, right? With I'll start fresh with some fresh black walnut bark. I'll do 2 kinds. And then I'll do another jar with the powder that I'm doing with these stems, right? Just do it, and then let it sit, seep for a few days or whatever it is. And then I'm going to dip my cotton swab in there, and I'm going to go like this on my face. I'm going to do that once, twice, maybe 3 times a day. And then we're going to see what happens over a course of a couple of weeks. Okay? Whether I rinse it off, leave it on, I'm not sure yet. I'll let you know as I do it. Just to show you what you can do, okay, with what I'm working with here. And then through this process of gathering up black walnut powder, English walnut powder, in terms of from the husks, you know, the barks, the wood, the roots from the black walnut when they ripped up the tree, and the leaves for ink powder, right? As it all comes to, and writing a story, creating little craft projects around this supply list, I guess you can say. I mean, it all takes time, and obviously I'm busy, people. There's only so much I can do. But the stock is pretty much all there now. Now it's just a matter of trying to piece it together and building a little website for Andre so that, you know, at some point he can latch onto it as he ages and then continue building on it as he internalizes how he pretty much harvested himself, people. Every time we went out and got something that related to the walnut trees, he was with me going to my videos. I taught him how to go out into the community and locate natural resources that nobody wanted and see no value in, and I'm teaching him how to create value in those resources. And not for the money first. Because trust me, he loves the trees, people. He is so upset that these trees are being cut down out here. We're sad. Andre and I are extremely sad. We have a little bit of satisfaction knowing that we've got some of them growing in our yard now, right? This is another reason why he doesn't want to leave this house. Because, you know, the birds come, right? And they fly in our trees now, people. You seen when I was out there banging away. What did that blue jay do? He flew from wherever he flew from. He came into our yard specifically to check out what the heck was going on. Right? The blue jay.
Oh, yeah. Remember? Wow, last time he got... Well,
yeah. Okay, let me finish my video. Shoot. I'm almost done.
He's done.
Okay, I'm going to be 5 more minutes. All right? I mean, obviously, Andre can't be doing the things that I do, okay, right? But when he's older, he can do them if he chooses to do them, if he chooses to continue to work on his little hobby, aka part-time business, right? And with me telling you this story and showing you what I'm doing, you can take the same principle. It's the dust from this. My chest has been heavy for a little while. I think I'm coming down with a cold or something. So anyway, you can take this same principle regardless of where you live, and it doesn't have to be walnut trees, people. I think this is what I'm trying to say. It doesn't have to be a walnut tree. It could be maple tree. It could be any kind. It could be rocks, right? Could be anything. You can just look around, see what nobody wants, see what nobody cares about, and you can see that as a resource to build in a little project for the children in your life. And, give them something to latch onto so that, later on in life, they are in touch with nature more than anything, right? Because life is not all about money, people. It's really not. And unfortunately, because so many people just see it as money, 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 they're cutting down things that, have medicinal properties, that you feed the birds, that, produce a product, just whatever it is. So as you watch this video, because I'm just going to turn this off, continue doing what I'm doing. Next, these are the leaves from my yard, people. I've already done a whole batch. Okay, remember I showed you in one of my videos? Right? I've already done a whole batch. This is what I harvest. Oh, shit. These are husks. So I'm going to grind those up. I scared myself there for a minute. I'm like, I was expecting leaves in this bag. But that's a batch that I didn't get to. But this is the last batch of leaves that I'm going to grind up that I've been picking through my yard. And there's still a few more left in the greenhouse that I need to get up into and finish up with, right? And then I've got these things. I'm not grinding up all the stems, but like these ones, for example, will go as walnut art, right? These nuts, I don't know where they came from. I can't remember, but honestly, I think some of them could probably still grow because they're cold. They're cold, people. When they're cold, that means there's something in it. Like this one. I bet you if I was to bite into this one, it would grow. So I'm going to go through this bag and pick out a few. Now I still have to, I'm so sorry I haven't put any of these books in the mail, right? That Kelly, she wanted some walnuts for her property. I can't remember. I think it was Virginia, right? I'm just haven't done it yet, people. It's so hard for me to focus on things, right? And then my money is funny, right? Got funny money. So I have to kind of just budget as I'm going along. But these books are going to be going out in the mail. And if, Kelly, you're still watching my videos, you're still in the loop, right? I've got the nuts in the fridge downstairs, and I've got some in the greenhouse. Plus, we've got a couple in this bag that are cold, which tells me that they're viable and that they can actually grow, right? So, I still got to do that, right? So, anyway, I just want to show you that if you want something that's doesn't require a lot of investment in order to go off and do something with the children in your life, whether they're grandchildren, children, or nieces and nephews, or whatever, just look around in your environment, see what you can find, and teach them how to harvest things, right? And then you can build your own little website for them. And then as they age, they're either going to stick with it or they're not going to be interested in it. But you don't know until they try, right? And chances are they'll probably stick with it because you're teaching them something that's been lost in today's society, right? Because we rely on these major manufacturing, what is it, Monsanto, like companies, taking over GMOs. We rely on GMO crops, right? Genetically modified crops, right? That's what we rely on, people. We rely on big industry to do this kind of stuff for us, when oftentimes we can just do it for ourselves, even if it's on a very rudimentary level, because we need more of this kind of stuff. So anyway, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to finish this up, and then when I'm done, I'm going to show you what I grounded up today, and then I'm going to end this video, because the point of this video is to maybe inspire you to look around your environment to see what you can do with the kids in your neighborhood or in your family. And it won't really cost anything other than maybe some time, right? Just remember that. All it takes is time. Okay, so I put the light on for this. I don't know if it's making much of a difference. So I'm finishing this video. I'm going to keep it real short here for the most part. So this is what I did today, people. Okay? All those leaves, everything that I brought home with Andre, wherever we got them from, this is the stems, basically. Right? It's these things. Hold on. Basically, it was those things. These ones can be used for pictures. But all the other ones, I took them off of whatever. Right? Here is something that you can actually make beads with. But in this case, I don't know. It depends. I like them a little more thicker, right? These were really green. So some of them I may just take a hammer to break them up and then just grind them up and put them in with this, right? Some is just for art. I already got some in a bag. Do you see? Do you see? Right? So anyway, we got that. I've already started too, but it's not like I have a lot of time, people. I wish I had an actual motorized saw, like a saw table of some kind, where you can go just zip, 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 zip. And what you're seeing here is walnut beads. Do you see that? Right?
You made walnut beads?
Oh, I'm trying, but I don't have a lot of time to sit there. This is the black walnut bead. This one, and black walnut, even though they say it's a hardwood, trust me, people, it is so soft. Black walnut is a very soft wood.
Really?
But it's a hardwood. Yeah, feel how soft that is. Like, really soft.
Oh, yeah.
So this is black walnut that, is like a bead, right? Only it has no hole in it yet. Okay? However, the walnut branches,
these ones are hard,
have their own holes in them. Do you see that? Right? So they come already pre-made with holes. Right? So there's three different sizes there going on currently. Right? Obviously, I don't get a lot of time on it. This is that... Quiet. Out. I don't want to hear that right now. I'm talking. Okay, you can, if you want to stay and be quiet, that's fine. You can stay here and be quiet, but don't start humming and singing and hooing and hawing. Okay, this is this is English walnut husk, right? Not as rich as the black walnut, but it's another resource, right? Which you would use to make ink for either staining or just with a fountain pen or something like that, or maybe a paintbrush. This is the leaves from our yard, Andre. This one here, this particular jar is just a combination of English walnut and black walnut, right? A lot of these leaves came from when the wind came and blew off all the leaves off my trees, and basically I just kind of threw everything into one big bucket, right? Let it all dry, and then I grounded it up, and now we've got some nice powder.
Did you show them those walnuts in here?
Yeah, I talked about that. They're right here. So now it's going to go through them. I'm going to find the real cold ones. Some of them are cold, which tells me there's something in them.
What do you mean they're cold?
They're cold. That tells me there's a nut in them if they're cold.
Apple?
Then there's nothing in there. It's dried up. So some of these, because I've already got a couple of little planters out in the back that I was getting ready for nuts, I'm just going to throw into the ground, into planter pots. You put your hands in there and you find a cold one. And when you hold it like that, yeah. You have to hold it like that. You have to go through them and find a real cold one.
This one's cold.
That one's cold? Yeah.
So there's another down one.
Probably.
Mm.
That one's dry. That one's empty.
Yeah.
That one's for art.
This one's cold.
This one's cold?
Yeah.
No, this one's not cold. I don't think so. This one's cold. Do you feel it? Put your hand right on it.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yep.
Yeah. Keep that one off. Now I'm going to put that one in the ground. Anyway, we'll go through those. And then, as I'm cutting walnut rounds for Andre's walnut art, I'm saving the sawdust. And then Andre and I are going to make paper. That's what we're going to do, right, Andre?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just Nana has to start building a website now.
Oh, no.
Huh? Oh, hold on. Okay, people, I got this light on. I can't take it off right now. What I'm doing is I'm feeding the birds here. And then I'm going to go out into the greenhouse since I just did that little video. And I'm going to go get the leaves, and I just thought I'd bring you in there just so we can all take a boo, because everything and everybody out here has been neglected. I've been neglecting them. I've been tired, people, these days. I don't know. I'm getting old, right? You know, I'm not that spring chicken I used to be, right? You know, I got health issues with my eyes and stuff. So anyway, I'm gonna have to make this blue jay feeder sometime. I'm gonna be hopefully coming out this week. Right, and I see there's the bird feeder. Can you see the bird feeder? Oh, maybe not. Where is it? Anyway, it's where am I? It's over here. Right. So, whoa, sure, drop the camera, right? Drop the camera, right? I'm, what do you call it? Just gonna do another quick little video here. Why not? I know it's not with the format, right? I'm supposed to be changing the format. Right? I am changing the format, people. It's just, you know, life is so busy. There's got so many things to do, right? It's gonna take me a while yet to, that's why I was doing what I was doing today, in terms of, what is that? Oh, heavy. In terms of, finishing up with those walnut stems, because what I'm doing is I'm, clearing out War Room 1, right? You have to remember there's not a lot of space in this house, so things tend to pile up, right? And that corner, when I'm not in there actually typing, right, ends up being a little kind of mini holding bay of things, right? So, before I can really get in there and get into the paperwork that centers that little room, right, I have to clear it out. And clearing out the walnuts was one of them. Well, walnut leaves and the stems. So that's one bird feeder. They're all squawking, feed me, feed me. Here's another one. Oh, everything is empty out here, right? Squirrels running around. You know, I haven't fed the raccoons for the last couple of days, minus a few things I just put on the porch for them. So everybody's hungry. I haven't been planting any walnuts just because, you know, doing other things, and it's taking me longer to recuperate when I am outside. Okay, so we've got these two now done. Oh, God forbid if I fall off the fucking stairs. So now we're going to go down and put the bird food into Mr. Lace's cat house. And then there's another bird feeder over there for now. I'm gonna give the raccoons some food. And then we're gonna get up in there, people, and go take a boo. Hold on. Okay, people. So, I don't know. This actually might be a tree right here, people. I was waiting for something to grow from this. Anyway, it's in real disarray in here, people. Like, serious, man. So I need to get up in here this week. And because there's trees in here. Alright, do you see? I didn't have a lot of time this year, people. See, there's another one. There's the leaves. Right. I didn't have a lot of time. There's some there. For anything this year. Plus, I've been tired. Right. My eyes really kind of hold me back. So anyway, I'm going to come in here and take out some of this stuff that I don't need too much of already. There's too much in here, right? I'm just gathering up my leaves for now. Clean it up. Some of them I won't touch because they've already got something growing in them. And then next year I'll transplant. And then I'm going to add in some extra pots. Right? Like you see, there's something here. So I'm not going to dig too much into that one. Right? Just let them sit over the winter. And then whatever was in the X Club, I brought it out. And they're in here. Whether these ones will grow or not, I don't know. They're 2 years old. But we'll do something with them later. I think Sierra's been in here rooting. Something's been in here rooting around. Because, I don't know. You can see the shit's been moved. But whatever. So, there's another leaf. Doesn't seem like much, but after a while, it all starts to add up. But I'm at the end of leaf collecting right now. I don't really, I've done it all. But there's a couple more in there. This is the very end of it all. I just came in here to give these guys a bit of water for the ones that aren't getting water when it's leaking from the roof. What's new? Leaking from the roof. Like this one here could stand to use some water, right? These ones up here, well, this one I think, just going to take outside. This one here, I can see there's a tree in there, so it doesn't get very much water there because on this side of the greenhouse it doesn't leak, but it leaks everywhere else. But my son is supposed to help me put another plastic on it after we're done with the hen house, aka seedling room. Obviously, got to come in here, cut everything down. So that's what I'm going to do this week. Now, mind you, Amari has his MRI on Thursday, right? And the greenhouse hasn't been the priority. So for today, we're just going to water it, pretty much. And I'm just feeding the birds, right? And feeding the raccoons. And that will be it for outside. Oh yeah, I wanted to show you. See, here's a few more. Well, this is an apple tree. Or no. Yeah, that's an apple tree. This is an apple tree. That's what that is. Obviously, white oak. But I want to show you this. Oh, there's some dinner before it gets frosty out here. I'll bring that in. Look at that. How many do you see? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I see 8. 8 little white oak trees, people. Like, I'm so happy to have them. You don't know how happy I am to have them. I just didn't get a chance to dig them up this year. And if you're wondering what white oak looks like, it's like this one. This one, the raccoons and the squirrels really like to eat the nuts from this one. Right? You can see my warrior tree branching out already. Look at that. That's a solid branch. Right? It's reaching for the sky. They're almost equal to each other. This one surpassed. I have not dug this out yet, people. Obviously, it's moving itself slightly away from the main tree, which is straight up parallel to the sky, right? And this one is kind of, you can see what it's doing, because they don't like to touch each other. They can live with each other, but they don't necessarily like to touch with each other. Do you see this one here? Where's my finger? There it is. Do you see it? Another one coming up in the ranks. This one I'll probably end up digging out at some point. This one I'm just going to leave. We know it's going to get cut down. It's just a matter of time. But right now it's not bothering anybody, and it should just be free to be. Well, this one here, I may just leave it here. Oops, that was water. I may just leave it here, and then as it grows, what I'd like to do, as it grows, people, I'm going to train it to arch. So in other words, I'll take some string as it gets a little bigger, and a piping to arch it like this, so that it grows like that. And then it will what will happen is it will form an arch like that. Like, you know. Right? And if the black walnut kills it because of toxicity, well, right now they're not bothered with each other, so I'm not too worried about it. And I've got a lot of other white oaks all over the place. Right? And then here's one, there's a bunch there, there's one there. I've got up there, you can see I've got 8 coming in there. I've got some over there. So we're good for white oaks. So this one I'm going to just leave it and see if I can train it to go around so that you have, you know, something different to look at. Okay, so that's all I wanted to say. Is that a lonely flower or what? Like, it's fall, people. Oh, my leaves. But there's a lonely flower. Here's another one coming up. Do you see it? Okay, so I'm just going to end it on this. This is some kale that I just pulled in, because it's going to start getting cold pretty soon. Here's some mint, for whatever reason. And, I don't know, this is something I planted a couple of years ago, and it kind of grew. I found some parsley. So I'm going to cook this up. These ones anyway. Like, maybe today, tomorrow, and yeah.